Hello, everyone, and welcome back to orientation. We are going to continue on. We are almost through all of orientation. So if you go to Module 3, orientation, down to number 7, orientation week closing, the first threshold. So this is what we're going to be answering after we listen to the audio. So we're going to go down here to the bottom, and this PDF that's down here is simply these questions, the reflection questions, typed out in a PDF. So you can either print that out, you can write the questions out, or you can just write incomplete sentences, which is what I'm going to do today because I haven't showed you that method yet. I've been printing everything out. So today I'm going to do these questions just by writing incomplete sentences right into my codex. So we're going to start by listening to the audio here. This week, you crossed a line that most people never do. You stopped running from your story and you turned toward it. And that alone is sacred work. That alone is proof that something in you is rising. You walked into the labyrinth instead of trying to outrun it. You traced the earliest echoes of who you are. You named the beliefs that were never yours to carry. You listened to the voices that have guarded your past. And for the first time, you wrote the opening of your scene of your reckoning manuscript, not as a victim trapped inside the story, but as the author telling it. If it feels like the ground is shifting beneath you, good. That's how you know you're doing it right. The descent is supposed to disorient before it clarifies. It is supposed to empty you before it reveals you. You are not meant to have all of the answers here. You're meant to walk, one breath at a time, one truth at a time, one choice at a time. What you did this week matters. You turned the mirror inward and dared to see. You stopped waiting for someone else to hand you the pen and started remembering that it's been in your hand all along. And even if the story still feels messy or unclear, remember this. You're already rewriting it simply by choosing to look. So pause here, not to rest, but to honor how far you've come. Ask yourself, what did I discover about myself this week that I couldn't see before? What part of my story feels different now that I've named it? What belief or voice surprised me the most when I finally listened? Where am I still resisting the descent? And what might that resistance be trying to protect? And if my life is a labyrinth, what do I sense is waiting for me at the center? Let these questions linger. Don't rush them. They're not meant to be solved. They are meant to open doors inside of you. And as you stand here on the edge of what's next, know this. The labyrinth does not demand that you know the way. It only asks that you keep walking. It asks that you keep choosing presence over avoidance, truth over illusion, authorship over autopilot. Because you, right there, right now, you're no longer the person who stumbled into this work. You're the one who said yes to it. You're the one who turned inward instead of turning away. You're the one who took the first step back home. The descent is only the beginning, but so is the rise. And the soul that planted signposts in the dark is waiting at the center, not to rescue you, but to remind you that you were never lost. So keep walking, because the labyrinth is not a trap. It's the path you built to remember who you are. Okay. So what I drew was a labyrinth here with a line on the inside and a line on the outside that I'm going to fill in. Imagine it like this. There's a version of you on the inside of this, whole, complete, knowing who you are, understanding why you've been through everything you've been through, essentially having access to your blueprint map and being like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. That version of you needs to lead this version of you on the outside on a quest, on a maze, into understanding, which is only moved through, you move by feeling, by emotion. You're numb, you're not moving, you're stuck in place. You feel your way through in the dark based on what this version of you needs this version of you to understand in order to know when you get to the middle that you know that this mirror is you. What's being reflected back is you. What does that mean? There was a purpose for everything that you went through. It wasn't all for nothing. It was a version of you that was further along in evolution of your soul, guiding you to get there, to deeper understanding, to higher perspective. That version of you that's trapped in here because it knows this will help you, even though it's going to hurt, even though it's going to be difficult. It will help you evolve on a soul level to understand how this is you, why this is you. Now, by the time you get into the middle, you realize that this is a mirror, not a test, a mirror. I wrote, the pen is in my hands with a very not well-drawn tree that kind of looks like broccoli. And then I wrote, the door I want to open. Now, this door I want to open refers back to here. What version of yourself do you anticipate meeting when you meet the mirror in the center? Because that is an important part of this. What version of yourself are you hoping to find? Are you knowing that you will find as you unprogram layers of lack mindset, of limitations placed on you by others, of fear of expansion, hesitancy to be seen? When you take all of that away, what version of yourself do you hope to find? That can evolve over time. You can say something now, write something now, think something now, and a couple weeks down the line, that can change. That's okay. But right now, note to yourself, what version of you do you hope to find when you meet that mirror in the center and you see, oh, that hard stuff was so that I could appreciate and step into this version of me. And when you get there, you recognize, you realize, I want to step into this version of me. It's not something that's a punishment. It's not something that I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do it since I'm here. You're happy to. And it makes everything it took to get there make sense. So we're going to go into the reflection questions now. This week you crossed a threshold you cannot uncross. You stopped running from your story and turned towards it. This is what we just discussed in the audio. We go down to reflection questions. This is also, the reflection questions are what is in the PDF. So you don't need to download it or print it, but you can if you would like. It's at the bottom of the page. It's also in the Dropbox folder under PDFs. What did you discover about yourself this week that you hadn't seen clearly before? I put, this week I saw that I have nothing to fear about my readiness to teach the blueprint. There's always, there's always some fears that rise to the surface in between creating something and getting it up and running. And I feel like this week has helped to quash that. Number 2, which part of your story feels different now that you have named it? I put, the part of my story that feels different now that I've named it is the starting point being simply standing my ground, but it makes a lot of sense after thinking about it. Now, as we rate these answers, if I'm answering more quickly than you, pause the video or come back to it later, whatever you feel called to do. Write a little bit as we're here doing it together, come back and write more, or again, just pause. Sometimes you'll see I might write pages and pages and pages. I might have to speed up the video, who knows? But write what you feel called to write. Don't time what you're doing off of what I'm doing here. Sometimes I'll be doing it longer than you, sometimes the opposite. So whatever needs to come out, create the space for that to happen for yourself. Don't base any part of this journey off of what I'm doing in my explanation and my showing it to you. Don't say, okay, she took that long, I should take this long. Not at any point in this journey should you be comparing your journey with anyone else. Even if you're doing this with a partner. If your partner finishes in 5 minutes, but you want to take 5 days and really sit with it and unpack it, find some common ground where that works for both of you. If they want to pause and dig deeper while you do, if they want, whatever works for you, let your intuition, let your energy be in the driver's seat of this entire journey. Not me showing you. If you want to do an exercise a little bit differently than how I'm showing you, please do. If you're looking at a tarot spread and you want to do that differently and change a couple questions, please do. It's what calls your soul, again, is in the middle here with a loudspeaker that is silent but appears to you in vibrations, appears to you in codes, appears to you in energy. Listen to that version of you and what it's saying. Okay, number 3. What bucket, belief, memory, or voice surprised you the most? Remember, always write the date, both sides of the page. I put the bucket that surprised me the most is calmness in places I expected to feel overwhelmed, and peace in the space created for this. So I expected to kind of feel hypervigilant in energy association of like what's coming up and all of that. And instead I felt a sense of calmness, which is good. And then I put proof is creativity bubble, which I just posted shortly before doing this, my daily channeled message for day 3. And I wrote about having a creativity bubble kind of come to the surface that I talked about in a way of when tension releases, because one of the cards that I got was tension in reverse. So I said, when tension releases, when you are breaking the codes of survival mode, it's making space for little bubbles of creativity to rise to the surface. They're going from being trapped in the root chakra to being able to come up into your sacral, into your solar, and be able to come to life. So now we're going to go into question 4. One second. Okay, and now number 4. What are you still resisting? Where are you still resisting the descent, and what might that resistance be protecting? The part of the descent I'm still resisting is looking at where I still hold anger for people that are still in my life. That is righteous anger that I know will probably never see the apology I'm owed. That part of me is protecting me from numbing my emotions like I did in the past. Number 5. And that's a hard one to deal with because I feel like now that I've said that, people will probably be like, oh yeah, I have that too. I feel like that's a common thing where there's people who are still in your life and they've given you a right to be angry at them, but you're not coming from a place of just trying to keep the peace, but you're coming from a place of knowing that sometimes people cannot understand the depth or the ripple effect that they caused in your life until they've reached a certain part on their own journey that you cannot force them to be at. So there's a part of embodying your blueprint and the understanding of your blueprint where you learn that sometimes you have to allow certain things just to flow because there's an understanding of you can't know what you don't know at times. And people sometimes don't realize how, because we're all connected, their actions, their choices will eventually come back to them. So from a blueprint perspective, I write it this way because you can't just kick everyone out of your life that did you wrong. Sometimes those people stay around for whatever reason. And you'll learn throughout this course that sometimes you can allow things just to be, and it doesn't mean that you're diminishing your worth or that you're silencing yourself. It just means that you know there's no amount of explanation you could give to another individual to where they would understand you or see you. And you don't need to necessarily cut them off, but there's energetic boundaries that will prevent their energy from affecting yours in a negative way. And we'll learn that throughout this course. So that's just a little bit about my answer. Okay, number 5. If your life is a labyrinth, what do you sense is waiting at its center? And this takes me back to the one that I drew on the front here. So that'll help me with the answer for the front part. I wrote, if my life is a labyrinth, at the center would be lived proof that the blueprint is real and meant to lead us to freedom from the 3D matrix. I don't know what else to call it. You know what I mean? Mindset of society today. So when those taking this course implement this into your lives and you realize that you authored it, it's a template that you code into your reality and create progress and change and alignment from it. It's not something you credit to me. It's something you credit to you. It's something you credit to God. It's something you credit to the reason we're here. So my proof of the blueprint can only come from witnessing it in real time having an impact. So at the center of the labyrinth, I'm going to write proof. I'm not ready to fill in this line yet. I have to think about it. So that is it for this part. We're going to go into the workbook section next. I will see you soon for the next part of orientation.